Cover of the Time magazine at the moment. Seen this? Eat butter. Now it's only taken me 20 years of lecturing this stuff to people, and I am the one that did this, you know. There's many other experts out there who've been saying this. It all bases from Ansel Keys' hypothesis in the 1950s, which was a variance study, it was a statistical variance study of 13 countries. And what he then did was he handpicked the variance information that backed up his story for his information. What was based on us telling us to stop eating saturated fat is based on Ansel Keys' work, which was a hypothesis of the variance studies. So all they did was they got the, you know, when they do the census in countries, they took the census readings of ages of who had heart attacks in their food, and they correlated that. When he actually put the study together, he had to take out countries like Sweden, Denmark, because they didn't fit his model. He had to take out France because they had too much fat and they aren't fat. It just blew his model. So he only used countries that worked inside his model. Now, behind that was the vegetable oil companies, and they promoted that this was the better way to do it. And there is some guidance and some realities in what they're saying, especially when you have commercial processed fats. I would never eat non-organic butter. That's just for me poison. If you've done the research like I have and looked through all the research on organic food, if you've studied biodynamic foods, if you study the soil, if you study what they put in pesticides and herbicides, like guys, any guys in the rooms, you should never take any commercial sprayed pesticide foods. It brings estrogen in. So unless you want breasts and you want to put on weight, you want to get a little bit more moody and a bit loose in your joints, then I would not recommend you have any foods because they're sprayed, and the chemicals and pesticides they use estrogen in that. The estrogen helps stabilize some of the compounds. So again, I'm not saying just go out there and go crazy on eating lots of butter. I'm saying get organic clean butter and make sure you have an active body, because if you take in all this energy and you don't use it, you wear it. So the first thing we got to do is a balance of what we're doing in quality coming in and quality expenditure.
Yeah, even if you cook with it?
Yeah, cooking with butter is so much better. But if you don't have an organic source, the fats and the toxins are still in there. So you're still going to take it in. Saturated fat has a full hydrogen bond that's saturated. A monounsaturated fat has 2 hydrogen bonds that are acceptable to take in foreign components. So that breaks down easier in your body. So when you ingest a food, like say maybe an olive oil, that's why an olive oil will break down in 24 hours and actually can become a trans fat or a rancid fat, because when you heat it, it denatures the fat and allows chemical compounds to bond to empty hydrogen bonds, which now that compound or our element now reacts differently in our body. Okay, and it depends on what it bonds to. If there's colorings, flavorings, pesticides, herbicides, rodenticides, sprays, toxins in any form on that food or on your pan, and you're bringing it in, your body's going to store it. And then if your body can't deal with it, the liver has to deal with it twice sometimes if you process it out. Okay? So what is saturated fat and why do we need it? 50% of all your cell membranes is made out of saturated fat. If you understand physiology at all, that should just make you really fall off your chair. Why? We turn over 2 million cells a second. And if the raw material is fat, 50% of it is needed for the cell. I just had to produce 10 million cells there. What am I producing them out of? If we're not eating saturated fat, where are we making the cells out of? And if we're making the cells, it's going to sound a little bit patronizing, we're probably making them out of crap material. I use the 3 little pigs: straw, sticks, stones. Conventional fast food, kind of homegrown veggies, made of sprays or pesticides, herbicides, and then organic clean food as the straw, the sticks, the stones. It's your choice. It's your temple. You can build whatever you want. So here's another role here. They play a vital role in health of the bones. Calcium. And we hear of osteoporotic issues going on with females that don't eat fat. They're all fat phobic. Wonder why. Wonder why they don't have the mechanism to actually store the calcium, to bring the calcium in. What other things do we do with it? At least 50% of their dietary fats should be saturated. That comes from our ancestors' kind of patterns, but then we had this beautiful lady, Greek lady, Symbolossus, in 1994, did some great research and showed us that once we go from above a 1-to-4 ratio, which omega-6 and omega-3 should be 1-to-1 ratio, we can kind of be a little bit bad. We can go to 1-to-4. After it goes past 1-to-4 ratio, we have traumatic things that start to happen. Number one is we start to get cell issues in the heart and in the brain. And the statistics show us the fattiest organs in your body. liver, brain, heart. Prostaglandins. Has anybody heard of prostaglandins? Prostaglandins are essential for cell growth and development of brain cells and heart cells. Where do you find prostaglandins? Fats. If you don't take in your oils, if you don't have your balance of omega-3s, 6s and 9s, you don't take in the prostaglandins. Therefore, you don't have the raw material to make your cell membranes. Therefore, the heart doesn't grow or doesn't develop or recover from breakdown. We're turning over cells all the time. We need to have raw materials to rebuild the body. The human body replaces every cell in your body in every 12 months. When I went through college, we said every 7 years, the general muscles and that was 24. They've recently changed that and they say, no, that's crap. It's now every 12 months. We turn over every cell in our body. So, if you want to find out more information on this Weston Price, this Skinny on Fats, goes through the whole saturated fat stuff. And the reason I like that is because it's got oodles and oodles of references. Very essential to utilize these fatty acids. Look at that one. How many people get immune shots or flu shots, right? Maybe they just need proper fat so they can run the immune system, because the immune system runs on cholesterol fats to make the steroid hormones. And when you get stressed, that gets shut down. So growth hormones, repair hormones, they're all precursors. So if you don't take in the cholesterol, growth and repair stops. I work with a lot of people with disc injuries, shoulder injuries, back injuries, that have had them for years and can't get over them. One of the reasons is they don't have the raw materials to rebuild the body. Because some doctor says, oh, your cholesterol levels are too high, cut out saturated fat. So what's the body supposed to make the cells out of? If 50% of the cell is made of fat, and you don't take it in, what raw material are you using instead? I'll tell you what, an inferior source. That's why it breaks down and can't withstand the rigors and the stress of what already broke down the body. So, looking at cholesterol is also an antioxidant. Who would have known? Most people I say, did you know fat was an antioxidant? No. They would say, oh, it's cloggy, it breaks down, it's bad for you, and my doctor said don't have it. So, also we see lots of other chemical reactions. It releases serotonin, stops you getting depressed, makes you feel good. That's kind of good. Mother's milk, people say, well, it's not natural. Well, here's a little kind of curveball at you then, right? If it's not natural, why the hell in mother's milk, over 50% of all the fat that's in mother's milk is cholesterol? When they tell us to have 5 to 10% fat in your diet, and 50% of what a kid needs, why does a kid need more fat? What is built on fat? Your nervous system, your brain, your organs. So kids in general have to have high quality and slightly more fats to help grow. If they don't, they get into development disorders, neurological disorders, and I've dealt with many of those people. And sometimes I get those people that come into me that have restrictive diets based on possibly cultural, possibly religious, possibly their friends' ideas, and don't take in the fats and have huge hormonal and health issues because they are trying to do what they were told to do. But unfortunately, they keep on doing what isn't working. And instead of saying, done this for the last 10 years, it didn't work, maybe I need to change something. Sometimes someone like me needs to come along and say, hey, do you know what this is? And then give them the references and explain them.
What sort of fat should be?
Organic oils, fats from animal fats, tallows, rendered fats, butter, ghee, coconut oil, flaxseed oil, olive oil, walnut oils, avocado oils, but just have the ratio of the omega-6 and 9s balances to the omega-3s. So if you eat less fat, your body will actually increase, not decrease. Your body goes in, oh my God, we've got no resources, so anything that comes in, hold the hell onto that, because we're going to need that for that cell induction. So the body goes into a fight or flee. It's like it's going into famine times. It's like it's forgotten about the herd. It doesn't have its lean times, can't fight anything. So it says, for survival. And this is essential for human species survival. If we didn't have this mechanism, we probably wouldn't be here. So when we go through lean times, we store everything. So we have that reserve. So when your body's not getting a constant access to fats, water, and good nutrition, your body goes into a flee mode. It goes into a fight or flee response. Elevated cortisol and inflammation. Your body holds on. A lot of the work I do with weight loss is calming down the hormonal system. It's one of the key factors. And to do that, I need the fuel that the hormonal system works on.